Groundhog Day is a film about life and everyday routine. The question shown through Phil Connors relates to all of us.
What would you do if you were stuck in one place and every day was exactly the same and nothing that you did mattered?
All of us have felt this at some point, like we are stuck in one moment and everything repeats again and again. We wake up, hit the alarm clock, take the same road to work, talk to the same people, do the same tasks, come home tired and empty. At home we do the same things as yesterday, the same things we will do tomorrow. We fall asleep, the cycle repeats. We can see this repetition as a fantasy idea or a curse, or we can see it as a mirror of the routine in our own lives. When we first see Phil, he is standing in front of a blue screen giving the weather forecast. This is a subtle hint that his life is artificial. He feels almost no real emotions. He simply exists. He cares only about himself and what can make his life a little better. Nothing and no one else interests him. It makes sense that he has the same name as the groundhog that everyone cares about and everyone loves. Just like Phil, everyone around him tries to help, but Phil is too focused on himself to notice others or even think about them. Even on the very first day, before the repetition starts, Phil acts like everything is already repeating and has bored him long ago. He knows the whole ceremony and does not believe there is any real meaning behind it.
Then it's the same old shtick every year. The guy comes out with a big stick and raps on the door.
When the day starts repeating and all future days will be the same as the previous one, we must ask ourselves, is this really any different from how Phil was already living before? Every day looks the same. He wakes up, goes to work, does his job, then hurries home. Nothing important happens in his life. Groundhog Day is a critique of everyday life and routine. Why do we do what we do if it has no meaning? If our actions have no logical end? And does a way out of this endless cycle even exist? The short answer is yes. Using Phil Connors as an example, it's easy to see all the stages of accepting routine and the path we need to follow to break out of the daily cycle. This is a film about what brings change into life. What can make us live our boring, fixed schedule that never changes from day to day. It's about doing things that give us energy and make us feel better, not only ourselves, but also the people around us. According to the film, that thing is love for others in the widest sense. This is a film about the nature of change, and Phil is the perfect main character because he seems completely unable to change. He is a real egoist. He is never satisfied with what he has, while others might see his position as something to aspire to. Phil thinks he is more important than he really is. He was interested in Rita, but he refuses to stay in the cheap hotel with his colleagues. He sees himself as a big celebrity. In the interview about the groundhog, Rita says his main quality is self-love. He is not even joking when he calls himself a god.
I'm a god.
You're God.
I'm a god. I'm not the god.
He believed this from the very beginning.
I make the weather!
His main problem is that he is actually much less important than he thinks. He is a weatherman who changes nothing and has no real meaning. He is like the groundhog that predicts the weather with mixed success. Notice how Rita described the groundhog ritual.
He comes out. He looks around. He wrinkles up his little nose. He sees your shadow. He doesn't see your shadow.
This perfectly reflects Phil's situation. According to the ritual, winter continues if the groundhog sees its shadow. For Phil, the same rule works. His winter will end only when he stops seeing his own shadow. That is, when he lets go of his ego. Change is a difficult process, especially for Phil, because he reflects each of us, our laziness and our unwillingness to change anything. Circumstances lock him in a place where nothing changes, literally. He is trapped in a small provincial town where almost nothing happens. Pulling the groundhog out is a big event there. Life moves slowly. It's the perfect picture of boredom and routine. The situation makes Phil immortal, because the saying "he would rather die than change" fits him perfectly. For such ego-centered people, one lifetime may not be enough to change. So Phil has to go through all the stages of accepting this grey reality. The same stages we face when trying to escape routine. Our first step is to determine what went wrong and where we made a mistake. Then we decide to break free by having as much fun as possible. But Phil shows us that fun eventually becomes just another routine. Then we fight against it, and if we still don't find an answer, we fall into depression. Some drink, others have dark thoughts. Phil's life is one big cycle without beginning or end. He just wants it to stop. Many tries to break the cycle fail. Then he slowly begins to understand that there is something more important than thinking only about himself. He lived thousands of days, but nothing changed because he kept doing the same things in different forms. It was still the same day as the first one. Phil had decades to realize this. He was frozen in one moment of life, not getting older. We don't have those extra decades. If we did have infinite time, it would first bore us, then bring us to depression. If you direct all your energy only toward yourself and your own happiness, you won't get it. For Phil, this meant tomorrow would never come, nothing would ever change. One day he spends a wonderful day with Rita.
It's a perfect day. You couldn't have planned a day like this.
Well, you can. It just takes an awful lot of work.
He was close to the answer. Every day can be good, if you try. But at first Phil was only pleasing Rita for his own selfish reasons. Only when he opens up to her and tries to share warmth does he begin to understand what he really needs. She stays in his room that night. In the morning Phil wakes up alone. Outside the window it's still the same day, Groundhog Day. But now the song on the radio no longer annoys him, because its words finally have meaning for him. Phil truly falls in love with Rita. He stops trying to control everything. He stops taking and starts giving. He meets people with a smile and warmth. He reads books, plays music, makes ice sculptures. At the beginning he lived as if tomorrow would never come. In the end he does the opposite. He lives as if tomorrow will come, even though he knows it probably won't. Every day he catches a boy falling from a tree, saves a man from choking, changes a tire for two old ladies, and even buys life insurance, knowing he cannot be hurt. It seems pointless, but for Phil it now has meaning. Everyone around him is living the same day, and he tries to make it better for them. This is the day the cycle finally breaks. It's the day Phil lives completely for others, giving himself fully by letting go of his selfish ego. Feels winter ends. He stops seeing his own shadow. In the end, he breaks free not just from the time loop, but from everyday routine. The only wall that kept him living the same day was inside his own head. You will keep living the same day as long as you keep doing the same things. Phil's routine was bad before the loop, during the loop, and would have stayed after. Even with a lot of time and resources, you cannot always change your surroundings. But what you can always change is your attitude toward the world. All real changes start inside. The force behind change is love for people. It's what helps us overcome grey everyday life and live happily.